So welcome back to Solidworks tutorial, and then it's the C8 Corvette surfacing, right? So we are surfacing in Solidworks, and this is going to be part 30, so part 30. All right. So let's go over a few things that we did last time. We've been fixing up this area here, and then these sections here, and then let's just jump over to this picture here. And of course, in this tutorial we're going to work on this cutout on the roof of the car, and then come down here and create this section here. Obviously we're going to create a flat surface first with some of the cuts stops somewhere here, and then of course we will have our window, and then afterwards we will create these rear vents that goes in here and comes out here, that cooling the engine. Yeah, so let's get to the model here. And I want to say that if you're just tuning into my channel, I have tutorials, step-by-step tutorials on other things as well, and then it's all going from part 1, part 2, all the way up until it's finished. And this is part 30, so it's better if you start from the beginning and then follow my tutorials step by step. All right, so, and of course if you would subscribe, that would help me a lot, and I really appreciate that. All right, so so let's see what we have to do here to create those cutouts and continue down with the back section here. So first thing I want to do is I want to possibly surfaces. I want to connect these surfaces together. So these four panels here. But no, instead, let's come in here for a quick second, and then let's just maybe add a little bit something. Oh, maybe not, because then maybe later on maybe we can fine tune that, because I'm still not the happiest with this area here. Yeah, all right, so let's do the top section here and come down with this roof. So let's connect together these 4 panels and press OK. And then we need to get a sketch on the top plane here. So let's jump into the first display state. Let's remove this appearance of blue glass. Remove appearance, right? And then actually we're gonna need that glass. So let's put back that glass. All right, so let's put it on the roof section of this car, right? And then that comes all the way to that area there. All right, so let's click on the top plane here and press normal to profile. And of course we want to cut out through this line here, and then to here, and then we're going to mirror the sketch over to the other side, and we can just cut this section out. Okay, so let's start by make a sketch on the top plane here. So it's not a 3D sketch, it's a sketch on the top plane. And let's grab a spline, and I'm just gonna go from this point here, and then go all the way down here. There's one thing I want to point out, that now I have full HD high quality blueprints that is going to be used in future models. Unfortunately, this blueprint didn't turn out to be that good, and then yeah, it's not high definition, but I kind of figured out how to get some really good high definition blueprints. So in the next vehicle that we're going to create, we'll have the download link for the high definition blueprints. All right, so once yeah, we just create this curve here and pull it out to that way on the area. We don't have to touch anything on this area here. And then of course I'm going to grab a center line and right in the center drop that in there. And then I want to mirror this entity over here. All right, so it drops right where it needs to be. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a 3-point arc and just go from here to here and just trying to be on that curvature. Okay, so that's probably it. Or to be precise with that curvature, let's do something else. So let's grab the 3-point arc and let's go from here to here, and then we are straight, and then come out to this area here until it's touching those points, right? And if we cut these out, these areas, it will coincidentally snaps onto those points. All right, so yeah, in the back here, back section, I mean, we can close up the sketch here. Why not? And then if you jump over to surfaces, let's just trim this thing out here. So we don't not trimming out the front part, just up to that point. Right. Yeah, so it's only trimming up to this point here because we need this surface body here. Right. Surfaces, trim surface. Alright, so once we trim that out, we're going to drop a 3D sketch here. 3D sketch, and there's going to be a 3D spline. And drop it over here. Actually, we don't need to do that. So let's jump over to second display state. And let's just be let's just add a 3D sketch to this corner here. So it's going to be a 3D spline, and then this corner here, and then we want to be on the YZ, and that will go that way. All right, so we're gonna pull it out to about that far, and then we're gonna come in from the back. And maybe we can leave it as it is, and then work with that much. That probably is going to be enough for us, right? So exit the sketch, and then we're going to grab another 3D spline, individual one, and then we're gonna go from this inside corner to the edge or end of this small spline here. Okay, and then of course we're going to jump in from the side view here, and then we're just gonna give this a nice profile as well, up this way, so it has a nice profile on that selection there. We can also we can probably try adding a tangency on this area, and then if we go back to this section here and pull this line down, probably not. Let's have a look at the picture here quickly. So that comes in quite heavily in this area here, and that's not that tangent as we have it here. So let's do a Control Z if we can. Control Z. I just take off that tangency, delete that tangency. Coincidence. All right, that's much better. So, all right, so yeah, I mean, we can add this line and ice shape on this side here, and I think that probably would be enough for us. And then of course we're going to jump to the top here, and we need to bring this line inwards. So let's jump into first display state so we can see a lot better. And then we want to give this a little bit of profile this way as well. All right, and pull that down here, and then let's have a look at from the side. All right, so press OK, and then jump over to second display state. And then we're not going to add profile from here to here on this curvature. All right, and then simply we're just going to come into surfaces, boundary surface, and we need a selection manager with these two panels here. Press OK, and then this line. And we don't need to add any tangency on that. Something is not right here, so let's have a look. It's connecting perfectly there. So let's try that again. So a boundary surface, selection manager, this line, press OK, and the selection manager, these two panel lines, and press OK. Right, so because this line is being built same time with this line here, that's why I like to make individual 3D sketches so you don't have things like that. And then but you can fix that with selection manager always. So press OK over here. And then of course we're going to just jump into features here and then mirror that over. Yeah, phone call. All right, so let's mirror over. So for of course front plane, and then we're going to mirror the bodies. So let's mirror this body over, and that settles that. Okay, so let's come in here and hide this small 3D sketch. That's good. And then obviously we need to build a line from here to here, and then that's going to be a spline, believe it or not, a 3D spline. So let's do a 3D spline from not from there, obviously. It's a 3D spline from this corner to this corner here. And then of course you want to check that curvature on the spline. So that's a spline here. And then I'm just going to pull this end up a little bit, and I'm going to add our control polygon on that, and I want to align that point in the middle of that line there. So not much of a curvature down here in this area. That's probably enough, just following that line there, maybe perpendicular to that one. That's probably enough of a curvature. If you're not happy with it, we can always edit it. All right, so let's jump back into surface. second display. Yeah, we were in the second display state already. That's good. And then let's exit the sketch. And then let's do a let's see what we can do. Let's try fill surface here. And this line here. And that created our fill surface here. Now we can check how our cutout looks like. And that's probably a good cutout over here. Quite happy with that one. It should follow that. It should follow that line here. There. So let's have a look at the picture of we have here. So basically, we want to follow draw, right? So we want to follow this line here. Maybe that's big, a little bit too big. So Control Z on that. Can we just delete that like that? Okay, so maybe a skinnier one that works better. All right, so we have this line here, and then of course is somewhat following that line over here. All right. Okay, so that's not leave without saving. Okay, yeah, we're not saving that. Okay, so if we look at ours from the top, if we look at ours, we are following, comes down like that, and we are following our curvature here. All right, and then wait, I'm not going to add the fillets yet. However, we could, but not yet. Or maybe yes, maybe yes. So let's do a connect all these surfaces together. Press OK, and then let's try and add our fillets here. So set 4 here, and then set it in this corner. I'll set it in this upper edge, and then take that one out. This one as well. Let's see the numbers here. C1. Well, 1 gives us 6. So fillets. All right. I registered on that one. That's 9. That's a little bit too much. So let's try 5. And let's try bring that down on this area. Just do separately this front bit here. Let's try 6 here. That's probably looking a little bit better. And then let's press OK, see what that does to our surface here. And this does a little bit of curvature there, which is good for us. All right, so let's do a fillet on that front edge there. Not that we need it, but no, we don't. So if we jump over to our normal view, that looks all good. However, we will probably add a face fillet on this area here. Let's jump into fillet and see if we can add a face fillet. So from this here, and then this one section there. And let's do a 4 or let's do a 2 on that. Let's maybe turn these nodes facing downwards. No, it's not. Did we choose face that we did? Okay, so yeah, and that's some other ideas we can do here to get that sharpness out, but that's not really an issue here. That looks good actually. All right, so continuing on to the back section here, let's bring in our first display state, and then let's have a look from the top. And we are following our curvatures here. Not too bad. All right. Okay, so the next surface we're going to do is going to be down here, and we're going to cut everything out and build everything as we need to. So let's have a look at the picture. All right, so that surface body is on this area here. It's coming off from this, so there's not much of a downslide, I mean drop in for this window section. So we're going to imagine that this is not here, so we're going to create that surface here, and then we're gonna cut out all these areas and then create these rear vents and the windows on these back sections here. Okay, so let's grab a 3D spline, and we're going to drop this 3D spline somewhere about here, and then we want to be straight with this 3D spline up to that point, and then we want to add tangency with this face and the curvature, and tangency with this face and the curvature. And if you look into it, we can see that's not much of a curvature, just perfect. All right, let's jump back to our second display state. So we added tangency from this face to this curvature, and from this face to, from this face to this line, and from this face to this side of the line, and we can see our tangencies on this line showing up. All right, so press OK, and then what I want to do next is jump to sketch here, and I'm going to exit the sketch because I want individual lines, and then I want to get a 3D sketch, and I want to convert these entities here. So let's go and convert. It goes all the way down there, and it's touching here. It's important that it's touch all the way through, and then hopefully we're touching on that area there. If not, we will find out in a minute. So let's grab a spline. Make sure we connect these 2 points here. Okay, so let's grab a another spline and just stay on this edge, because we're going to make a filled surface out of this area, and hopefully it will look good to that point. And then can just come down on this edge here all the way down. All right, and then now let's jump into surfaces. Well, first exit this one, and it's highlighted, so it's good. And then it's already highlighted it. Let's select this line here, and it's created our surface here. Something with my SD card here. the ready power SD card contact. So filled surface is not the best option for us. Let's try that again. No. Okay, so let's go to boundary surface and then selection manager. And make sure we select the small line here as well. Press OK. Alright, so let's select that sketch from here, possibly. It was this line here. Right, so let's delete these lines here. Okay, and let's do it differently. So boundary surface, selection manager. Okay, that's registered there. That's good. And all the way to the edge. That's okay. And then select the line. And I created that sections there that we were looking for. And let's go to direction 2. And this edge here. And now let's pull this line back until maybe we can. And pull this one down. Obviously, you want to see the black dot. So now it's all pulling. So pulling this end down, it will drop it onto the edge. And let's try this side as well. Okay, so once we get it up to both lines, it will register. All right, so let's see if we can add tangency on this area. And then press OK, see what we get. All right, so that line goes all the way. That line goes all the way down and follows all the way down. And that's not really what we want. So let's have a look at this picture here. So the line does follow onto this one, but then it stops here and does not go into that one there. So there's 2 panels, so it does, these panels have it, but these ones don't have it, right? Okay, so let's go back to the future tree here and come down to this area, and let's delete this boundary surface. Okay, and then let's grab a 3D sketch. Right. Let's do converted images with this line and this line. And then let's grab a spline. And let's do tangency on these lines as tangency on this line here. Okay, and then let's try the boundary surface here. So this side and this side. For direction 2, we're going to choose selection manager, these 3 lines here for 1, and selection manager, this one. Let's do sketch, 3D sketch, and let's try a fill surface. Right, so just stay on this edge and then bring that down until you get to that point. All right, so surfaces, exit the sketch, and then fill surface. Select these lines and these lines here. Press OK. All right, so that looks good to me, because here we can cut something out and add into this area here. Okay, so let's have a look at the picture here for a second. So that goes into these sections here a little bit, which we will get it into as well. So we are looking good, and does go into that panel here as well. So that's good. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look at the picture here. What we have. Let's zoom in here. All right. So we need to cut out some sections from this surface. We need to cut out some here, and then need to cut all the way out this section here. All right, so let's cut these pieces out. So let's jump over to the first display state, and then we're going to possibly get that appearance. Oh, I won't be able to get it there. So drop the blue glass on this surface here, and I'm going to make a sketch on the top plane. So we're going to cut things out. So we're going to cut things out in this way, this direction. So this silver area belongs to that surface as well. Okay, so let's align here. So let's remove some appearance here. Remove appearance. And we're just gonna add the appearance to this area here. You know what, let's use clear glass instead. Well, it looks the same. Even actually blue glass is better than clear glass, or maybe the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so let's use it just on this surface here. And let's make some sketches. So let's go with a straight line. Or not, let's go with the spline. I'm more flexible. So let's go from here to here. And then here, I think, and it goes all the way that direction. So we're just gonna come to here to that point. Let's have a look at the picture again on that cut. Yes, that is a circular cut. So we're just gonna come to this point here. Then it's going to be a circular cut there. I wonder if it is almost straight with that one. So that's good. And then let's grab this line and then go from this area up to this point. And then we're just gonna zoom in here to grab these lines and pull these lines to here. And then we're going to add a vertical on that line, and then possibly a tangency. It's already tangent there, so that's good. And then another spline going up here to this point. Another spline. Hold on a second. So let's cut this. Did we add any line over here? We haven't. Okay, so spline, and then from this point to this point, and then let's see. Come down on this section here to this point here, and let's see if we can cut this surfaces and trim tools. Yeah, we can cut it. Yes. Let me just have a look. Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump to surface, and I'm trying to figure out which one should we cut, the glass or the surfaces itself. Yeah, let's cut the glass itself actually. So sketching and then trim out some of these bits. And then we have this area here. So grab another spline. Just come down to this part here. And grab the other spline. I'll go from that point to this point. And another spline from this point straight in to this point here. Okay, so that looks good. And then let's try and mirror this. Let's try and mirror this sketch over to the other end. So mirror entities, mirror all this over this line, and the surfaces, and see if we can cut these whole sections out. That's good. We were able to cut it out. So there's a few more things we need to cut out. We need to cut out these back sections here. Because we need that surface body there as well. It belongs to the glass. So let's go again and make a sketch on the top plane. And grab the spline. I'm gonna go from this edge down to here, and I want to be perpendicular with that line here. So somewhere here. Grab the spline and then as straight as possible to this point. And another spline. Up to that point, and from this point. And then another spline up to here. And then I'm just going to connect these 2 points together. Let's jump to surface here and trim surface. And let's trim this surface out. But first, let's mirror over center line. And then mirror entities. So highlight all these selections, sketches, and mirror them over. And obviously we need to cut this inner sketch here. So now they are connected there. All right, so let's see if we can cut these whole sections out here. Okay, so surfaces, trim surface, and we can cut them out. Good. All right, so we cut the glass out, so that's good, and we determine this surface body here. Let's remove this appearance here, and then jump over to our second display state. So I'm very happy with this surface body here. All right, so we're going to build these vents in here and everything, of course. All right, so let's have a look at the picture here. This section. Okay, so one more thing we can do here is cut this area out, this curvature, and then we can add some corners or drop-ins on that surface just so it follows the other this panel here. Okay, so let's create that. So let's make a sketch on the top plane here, and let's grab a 3D sketch. And I want to convert this edge here, this edge, and let's see if we can pull this down in a manner. No, not that way. Not that way. So let's grab a spline. Just pull the spline somewhere over here. And let's add tangency on this line. Tangency. And now it's already telling us which way the curve wants to go, which is good. So it wants to go that way. Actually, let's not add that tangency relationship on that line there. You know what will really help us here if we maybe take off that surface fillet from this one here. Let's take that off and see. Of course, delete these sketches. So let's take off that fillet. Okay, and it didn't cause us any problems. So that's good. And then now I'm going to grab that 3D sketch and I'm going to convert these lines. Okay, and then get to the top of this and see if we can pull it down straight now. Yes, we can. And that's exactly what we were looking for, this curvature here. Okay, and then let's jump to surface and try to trim. But before we do that, let's jump into the first display state just to have a look. And let's drop that glass onto this body here. Okay, so obviously we need to cut out this area here in this direction, in this manner. And our sketches are almost good. I think they are good because we're gonna cut from this way because that's how our curvature goes. Okay, so we still need to cut out these sections here. So before we trim in, we're going to cut these sections out. All right, so exit the sketch and we will come back to it. And then we're going to make a sketch on this top plane, normal sketch, not 3D sketch. And then we're going to grab the spline and let's just have a look at that picture again. Okay, good. And then we're gonna go from this point up. Let's hide these lines for now and we'll bring it back after. These lines, so we can see a lot better now. All right. So again, sketch on the top plane. And I grab that spline, and we're gonna go from here up to this part, and from here we're gonna come in all the way here. But that's what's that line is. That's a plane here. I want to hide that plane. So let's hide this plane here. Hide plane. Okay, and come back in here and edit the sketch. Edit sketch. All right, so we can see a lot better now. Okay, so spline, of course, and then we're gonna come to here. And let's move this spline a bit here. That's about here. Okay, and let's grab another spline and straight down that line there. And that's good looking spline. Okay, good. And then I want to get a center line from here to here, and I want to mirror this over here. Okay, let's go surfaces and try to trim that surface out. All right. And now we bring back our lines here. Show. Okay, so yeah, so if you click on it, you can hide and show. And then let's bring in our lines here so we can see. So toggle between those two. Okay, and then we're going to cut this wall. We're going to cut this surface out, which it was probably not much point to cutting into them if we are going to cut them out, because we want to create a drop down, a little bit of drop down following these lines here, and then cut them out. But it's fine. Okay, so trim this surface out actually. So let's select the trim tool and trim this surface out here. Okay, and then let's hide these lines. Hide these lines and hide this small thing here as well. And then that's following that section there, which is good. And now let's jump into second explicit. And probably you already know what I'm going to do here. Right, so this line is going to come connect with these two lines here. Okay, so sketch, 3D sketch spline, this corner to that corner. Surfaces, boundary surface, this line, this edge and this line, and we're going to add tangency over here. If it's not registered, you should just come over and select the direction to vector, and then I select back to tangency to face, and then it registers as it registers here. All right, so but that's not going to be a good surface for us because it's coming all the way up there. So let's have a look at the surface if we don't add any lines here. Well, that actually will work for us. So all we have to do is come in here and add some boundary surface on these two edges here. over to the other side, other surface. And press OK. And now that follows into that surface there. I'm pretty happy with that surface. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this sketch out now. And we already have that sketch. So if you find it, surface trim probably, surface trim somewhere, surface trim. That's the one we're looking for. So it's going to be under surface trim 52. So click on that and show. And we're gonna come in here and trim surface and trim out this trim tool and trim out this area here. Hide this sketch. And let's bring in our second display state, see what we got. So click on top plane and normal to profile. And we are right on target. So let's add the blue gloss here just to see. And we're looking good all the way throughout. Let's remove that blue glass there. Okay, and let's jump over to our second display state here. And see what we have so far. That follows into that panel, which is good. And then we 1, 2, 3 panels up here all the way through. And then we can be going to we will be connecting everything. We will be connecting everything together here. Okay, so let me see how much time we have left here. Yes, we still have a few minutes here. Let's just go through over what we're going to accomplish in the next tutorial. So we created, in this tutorial, we created this area here. And we're going to work on this small area here in the next tutorial. And then we're going to be creating the window and the vents on these back sections here. And then finally, hopefully, we can get on the finishing up this back boot section of the car. All right. So thank you very much for staying me in this tutorial. And then don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And then see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.